You asked for it. Here it is. It's a podcast from Apathetic Enthusiasm.
In this episode, we're talking about cultural appropriation. And other stuff. It's Apathetic Enthusiasm, the political podcast. That's right. We've gone fully political here. Nothing but your political news 24/7. Hi, everybody. I'm Travis.
Hey, everybody. I'm Brandon, and here's how the show works now. If you're watching the video, you can see that I'm in red and Travis is in blue, which reflects our political affiliations as of April.
As of 30
30th.
seconds ago. Yeah.
I'm
This
Brandon MAGA Cruz and Travis Common Bernard.
What is it? Something liberal. Crazy.
LIBRAL.
Yeah.
Liberal.
Yeah. This show is brought to you by public support. This is so. If you want to support this podcast, go to patreon.com/apathetic enthusiasm, where you can support public broadcasting just like this podcast. You can also follow our social media, facebook.com/apathetic enthusiasm. Send us an email, apatheticenthusiasmshow@gmail.com. Instagram's apathetic_enthusiasm. Our website, apatheticenthusiasm.com. You can follow the video versions of all of our podcasts at youtube.com/apathetic enthusiasm. And that's it. That's our show. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Yeah, this is the first attempt that we were doing at a political show, and I'm just not in it. My heart's
I'm not feeling it. I don't want to get canceled.
All right.
I don't want to be called fake news.
So thanks everybody for hanging out. And now we're back with our regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah,
where
we talk about
nothing
nerd stuff.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a fun little world we're living in, and we haven't done an AE in some time.
It's been a few weeks.
Been a few weeks.
Why is that, Brandon?
Well, because Rick and Morty stuff is it's coming on fast. It's coming on quick. Rick and Morty starts May 25th.
That's right.
And we already had an interview with Kyle Starks and Troy Little for the comic stuff. We have another interview that I need to finish lining up with another comic book guy. I forget it. Kibblesmith, I think is his name.
Yeah.
And he's doing the Rick and Morty event. And then, of course, obviously, the show itself is coming out. We hope to get some interviews. I know we got some screeners coming in.
That's right.
So, yeah, it's big and heavy, the Rick and Morty coming on.
Heavy is the burden that we carry as a Rick and Morty podcast. But, we're gonna do our best to cover the show, but we're getting at least one last apathetic enthusiasm knocked out for all of you amazing dedicated fans that download only this show. We're talking to both of you, and I
don't even think Bob Carroll listens to this anymore.
I feel like Bob Carroll does listen to this.
Oh, really? Hey, Bob. Because
I recently got a message from Bob. For the video viewers will know that I'm in an OKC Thunder t-shirt.
And I'm in a Muppets Roosevelt shirt.
And not just because we happened to start recording at the same time that Game 1 of the second round of the NBA playoffs is starting. So I definitely don't have another computer just off screen that is going to be streaming the Thunder game the entire time we're recording.
I feel like
I'm not distracted, Brandon. I'm not.
You do have that thing.
I do. Actually, it's 0.6 seconds left on the Knicks Celtics game, and then it will go over that.
That's why you're still paying attention right now.
Yeah, and then I'm checked out. But I got some messages from Bob. We were talking because obviously because of the playoffs, and I'm using his tickets this week to go to a game. But yeah, I feel like I recently got a text from him that was, Also, as discussed on last podcast, I too am in the probably should buy a new PC department, as main PC can't upgrade to Windows 11 and only have a couple months of support left. So that was on March 27th. Bob Carroll, original sponsor,
That's
still
right.
a listener. Shout out to Bob Carroll.
Still got that $50 that he gave us. Just
Saving it for a rainy day.
framed and put in like our house in Hawaii, which we both left. So that $50
Oh
is
yeah,
still
it's just somebody probably spent that on malasadas or something. Probably. Yeah.
there. Or shaved ice.
Oh, don't hit us with the hard D on the shave ice. Shave ice. Come on,
Shaved
Brandon.
ice. Shaved ice. Because it's not shave ice. It's you have shaved it. It is a past tense.
All right. What are we talking about? Marvel stuff or something?
we are. Bob. Real quick, going back to Bob, and we know that Bob loves to hear Bob's name anytime we're talking about him. But in our relationships, we did our first episode on Jaws, and then we did our second episode on Tucker and Dale versus Evil, Chelsea and I, and he posted. He sent me a message like, hey, how are you gonna post the episode like on the streaming platform, but then not actually have the picture, right? And so anyways, he sent a message and like left a nice long comment on our post. He's like, I've been looking forward to Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Yes, I am afraid of stuff, and I was afraid of this movie, but I wanted to talk about it because I've loved Taylor Labine and all that type of stuff. So yeah, I was just like, look at Bob Carroll still supporting us.
What a guy. Shout out to Bobby. You're the real MVP. Yeah, and everybody else that listens, you're cool too.
Yeah, but Bob.
Yeah,
mainly.
but mostly Bob. What about Bob? Yeah, lots to cover.
Lots to cover. Yeah, because there's been lots of stuff that has come out as far as series, movies. You've watched most of it. I have watched none of it except like one thing. And so I wanted to kind of cover that, right? Like we talked about Silo. We talked about whatever else is out.
In true apathetic enthusiasm fashion, you've watched half of the stuff. I've watched the other half. And we're going to haphazardly ask each other about it.
And there's no crossover.
No, not at all. So, I think the first thing I want to start with, in honor of Star Wars Day, because we are recording this on Cinco de Mayo, hence
Revenge of the
Fifth, hence the margaritas, hence the cultural appropriation. But we want to talk about appropriating Star Wars on the 4th with a little show called Andor. Mm-hmm. Now, we both watched the first season of Andor. Really enjoyed it. How much have you gotten a chance to watch of season 2?
I haven't been able to watch any of season 2 yet.
Jeez.
And I'm not happy about it. I want to watch the series. I am. We talked about this when Andor first came out of how like Rogue One. I was loved Rogue One, and then Andor came out, and I was like, why do I give a crap about anything related to this character that I know is gonna die? And then I saw some reviews. I'm like, okay, let's give it a shot. And I fell for it. I was so excited for Andor season 2 to come out, and I just, for this, that, or the other reason, I haven't watched it yet. But I want to. Part of it was I think like maybe does Chelsea want to watch it with me? Does Dexter want to watch it with me? I'm like, I'll ask him. But by the time I asked him, it was already like 6 episodes in.
Well, and the thing about that is it's only been out for 2 weeks.
Right.
But they keep dropping it in 3 episode chunks. So instead of a single episode and then you're having to wait a week for the next one, they're releasing like an entire story arc, which, I mean, that's sort of how the first Andor season was made up, where there are these different chunks in time, different story arcs that happened throughout. And for some reason, they decided just let's push those all out, almost like 3-hour movies.
Right.
1 week at a time. And it's been really great. I thought, I guess 6 episodes are out as of this recording. I've watched 5 of them. I binge watched the first 3 One, because my kiddo was in the hospital. I was in there with her. She was like sleeping in the morning, and I was awake, and I was like, well, I got my laptop. Andor just came out yesterday. Let's watch these episodes. So I watched the 3-hour movie that was the first bit, and then I was not tracking that they were going to be doing 3 at a time the next week. I was like, all right, one more episode, one a week. This is fine. Just like Daredevil, where they like give you a couple episodes at the beginning. I was like, all right, now we'll get in this grind. But no, 3 more episodes. I was like, I gotta pace myself. I can't be doing this every week.
Can't handle it.
I got trading cards to collect or something. So,
so 5 of the 6 episodes so far. We love the first season. What is your verdict so far of the second season?
I really like it. It is. How do I want to phrase this? I feel like Andor is Star Wars for grown-ups a little bit, right? It's a lot more into political intrigue and the early formation of this rebellion as the Empire has taken over. There's a lot of things that you have to read into them. They're subtle. You have to appreciate, I don't know, emotion and complexity in relationships with in the first story arc. What's her name?
She gets tortured by like the sound device thing.
No, that's Bix. The lady that ends up being like in charge of
yeah, like she's like kind of.
I keep wanting to say Moff Tarkin, and I'm like that's not
dating,
it.
She's dating the guy who like messed up in the on the jail planet or whatever, and like he was going after Andor the entire time, but like now it's like him, her, and then his mom. Like I've just seen like clips of the 3 of them, and it's talking about relationships and like them both being damaged people that don't know how to love each other.
Mon Mothma is who I was thinking of.
Oh! You're thinking about
way
Mon
off,
Mothma.
way off.
Got it.
Yes,
I'm thinking of the Empire people.
Yeah. We can get to them in a moment, but
okay.
There's a whole story arc in the first 3 episodes that is carrying on from the end of season 1, where Mon Mothma's
selling off her kid,
more or less betrothed to, and from the planet that she comes from, there's a lot of history and a lot of tradition, cultural significance to these weddings, and it is symbolic for her of a lot of other things that are happening in her life, where she is kind of stepping into a more active role in the formation of this rebellion, and she's hesitant. It's dangerous. She's worried that people are going to get hurt, that she's going to lose people. And through the course of the 3 episodes, people very close to her have an uncertain fate. She's very concerned about what's going to happen, while all the time having to put on this face of like, everything's great. I'm at a wedding. I'm happy for my daughter. Just like she has to put on this face like, I'm just this political diplomat that works in the Senate and is negotiating trade deals and not trying to, undercut the emperor or anything like that. So,
yeah.
Just like that was really good. The first arc, the part with like Cassian Andor, felt kind of weird because like he just kind of lands on this planet where he's supposed to meet people, and there's this group that's basically fighting amongst itself. And when I was first watching it, I was like, what is the point of this? Like, why does any of this matter really in like the scheme of the show? But then as I thought about it, I was like, this is a microcosm of what's happening across the galaxy at this time in the history, where there are all sorts of small pockets of rebellion rising up, but they're not organized. They don't know who to trust. They don't know what side they're on half the time.
Because like in the season 1, the Forrest Whitaker stuff, Saul Guerrera, right?
Yeah.
Like Saul Guerrera, like there's infighting there, and he's like, this is how we should do the rebellion. And then there's other groups that are like, no, we should do the rebellion like this. And you see that in Rogue One as well. And it's like, I imagine that is part of what is going on in the first couple episodes, right? It's like everyone, what is the best way to fight against the Empire when you don't know if this sect right here is they are actually with the Empire trying to, infiltrate you and undercut your rebellion.
Yeah, it's that's the type of stuff where if you just look at some of these episodes at face value, it's almost like, all right, it's just some good Star Wars stuff. But as you examine it more, you peel back those layers and it gets really even more interesting. I think this is the second and final season of Andor. I believe it is meant to be.
I think it leads into Rogue One.
Yeah. So there's that. So I feel like I'll have to, as soon as I turn the show off, spin up Rogue One just to appreciate all of Cassian's sacrifice. But yeah, if you have not watched any Andor, I highly, highly recommend starting with season 1 and just enjoy the ride. Like I really do think it's good. Big fan.
Some of the best Star Wars to come out since Empire Strikes Back. Speaking of Star Wars, Pedro Pascal,
Mandalorian. Mandalorian. That's right.
He did this other show, Last of Us, the first season of Last of Us.
Last of Us, heard of it. Mm-hmm.
And then now it's in its second season. We're not going to do any spoilers for Last of Us, but are you caught up? You're at least for episode 2.
Yes, I have not watched episode 3, which came out yesterday. No. Episode 4. Episode 4 came out this weekend. Yeah. So I've watched through episode 3. And yeah, it's that. I did not play the video games. Mm-hmm. And fans of the show will know that I'm not big into spoilers, typically. I like to shield myself from spoilers so that I can feel the emotion and feel whatever the show or movie creators were trying to surprise you with or emotionally invest you with. And sometimes for me, when I read spoilers, that's just, it's undercut for me. I don't feel it as much. But I know this show is based on video games that have been out for a very long time. So it's like people who, like, if you read Harry Potter and then didn't want the movie to spoil what happens, right? Like, it's the same story, right? So I get that, and they've been very true to the games in a lot of ways. So
yeah,
I
Snape
definitely
killed Dumbledore.
Yeah. Don't we said no spoilers.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But the movie spoiled it already. So
it's true. So yeah, I was spoiled before season 2 or episode 2.
Oh, somebody had spoiled it for you already.
Someone in my home, people who claim to love me, and
not Sheena.
Well, it was a conversation between Sheena and Allie, my oldest. And they just out in the open, blatantly talking about it, and I was like, "How dare you?"
That sucks, man.
I'm canceling our Max subscription.
Because so again, we're not gonna say what the twist is if you want to watch The Last of Us, but it happens in the second episode, and I've known about this for a long time because Last of Us Season 2 is based off of Last of Us 2, and so if you are following that game at all, you have heard some of the backlash about that game, about people like, what the hell? Like they kind of feeling a little bit betrayed.
Yeah.
And I was like, I am interested to see how early in season 2 are they going to do this big twist.
Right.
When are they going to do it at the end of the season and like build up to it, or are they, you know, they going to do it early on? And the way everything made it seem was like, well, I guess it's not going to happen that quickly. And then it did. And then it did.
it happened real quick. Yeah.
So I would have liked to have heard your take on it, seeing it live, not being spoiled, and be like, oh shoot, look at that stuff.
Yeah, I can say that some close friends of ours out here, the husband knew from the games, knew what was going to happen. His wife, no idea, and she was an emotional wreck. She was texting Sheena immediately, like, have you watched the episode yet? Call me, text me immediately when you have watched it. Like, I need to talk to someone about this. But I will say, you know, because we're talking around a lot of spoilers and the plot of the show, I feel like season 2 has carried on the quality of season 1 of The Last of Us. The scale of this show can feel very small and intimate in, you know, between people. But that second episode in particular, that it's like a movie. Like the level of effects, the environments that they're in, the sets, like all of it. It's really well done. And I mean, like, HBO has been known for
prestige.
Yes.
Prestige
and
television.
It's solid. It's really good. Like, it's a really good show. We talk about me, just like Bob Carroll, not being into horror, not being really into like scary stuff. Zombie stuff tends to be outside of my bounds for things I find like too scary or creepy. And so obviously we watched Walking Dead for a long time,
right.
Things like that. So this doesn't really fall into that category for me. It's not really like horror, in my opinion. Yeah, there's some suspenseful scenes and things, but yeah. So I really like it. Are you caught up?
No, I'm not. I was spoiled about the twist because of X. Because X is still, because I still do.
Because you still go to X.
I do, yeah. Because I want to see what kind of bullshit's happening in this country we live in. And that is honestly the best place to go see it. Because
yeah, you know,
I put myself outside of my bubble. I'm like, let's see what's going on, and then I'm like, oh gosh, all right, well, thank you.
That's enough. Abort. Turn around.
That's
go
what
back.
I thought was gonna happen. Okay, back to my bubble.
Yeah. It's unfortunate because, and I'll get real nerdy. This probably won't be the last time in this episode. My Lorcana fixation. I think a lot of Lorcana, like the pro Lorcana players, and I am doing air quotes for those in the audio listeners. They post a lot on Twitter about tournaments they're going to, about how their tournaments went, things like that. So, yeah, my dog is trying to attack me. Hold on a second.
I'm like, oh my god!
I was like, I think we got clickers coming in here. Here, let's just do this. Let's just do this live. Let's call Sheena on the podcast. I won't put her number on.
Yeah, no, yeah. All right.
We'll just put her on speaker.
This is good. This is good quality content.
She's ghosting me.
I think she would pick up right away.
I think I just hung up on her. But I don't hear the dog anymore. So maybe she was getting the dog. Oh, she's calling me back. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
All right. Oh, hey, Sheen. Hi, you're live on Apathetic Enthusiasm. How you doing?
Good.
Could you do me a solid and come get the dog out of our bathroom? Because it sounds like she's a zombie trying to break in to the
She's just trying
podcast.
to get straight to your door. Come here. Come here. Okay.
Okay.
Done.
All right. Thanks.
You're
Love you.
welcome.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Sheena Menard, everybody.
There she is. There she is. Pay her residuals, folks.
That's fantastic.
That's what I love about Apathetic Enthusiasm. You know, it's a casual environment.
Yeah, and I don't have to edit anything. Not that
Yeah.
I do, but
Yeah.
I especially don't have to do it now. So I want to talk about something spoilery, but probably not until after a quick little break.
Okay, yeah, let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we can talk about a big spoiler that's like an open spoiler. But we'll definitely we'll get into some Marvel movie news. How about that? All right, we'll be right back. That's right. We took an interdimensional RSS break for the viewing audience.
Oh, you did. I was like, wait, no, I played the right music. I
Yeah,
played
you
the
did.
right music.
Yeah, I just put the wrong slide up on the video.
Cool. Well, yeah, as we were talking about spoilers for Last of Us, we didn't get into spoilers, but I think that's a good way to kind of segue into what is now like an open spoiler, which is the Thunderbolts movie. So the Thunderbolts movie came out this last weekend. It says Thunderbolts. It has an asterisk on it, and a lot of people were wondering, why does it have an asterisk on it?
Yeah, that was like a big like subplot to the release of the movie. I think Kevin Feige would walk around with a hat that just had an asterisk on it. Like he always he always has his ball caps. But as they were promoting this movie, he really featured the asterisks prominently. Yeah, I don't know. There are a lot of questions about what it could mean.
Yeah, and so I'll get into that at the end of this talking about it. But so I whereas Travis watched Andor, he watched The Last of Us. I actually went and saw Thunderbolts this last weekend, and like it was one of those. I'd heard good things about it. I'm like, I'm interested in it. I'm interested in a non-standard Marvel movie. I kind of looked at it as like the Suicide Squad, but for Marvel a little bit, right?
Sure.
Anti-heroes who are doing heroic things.
Yeah.
And heard good things. All right, let's check it out. And I will say, went with Dexter, went with Chelsea. I enjoyed it a lot, and Dexter enjoyed it as well. Chelsea, she was like, I mean, it was okay, but it felt like it was rehashing some of the formula for like Avengers movies.
Sure.
She was like, it
Okay.
felt like kind of like a poor man's Avengers movie. and I could see that. And I was like, I think that's kind of the point of the movie, is that it's kind of like it felt like a poor man's Avengers movie. Okay. So the open spoiler that is going on right now, that whole asterisk, is there are signs that are being changed. So like in LA, on the skyscrapers, they'd have like the big thunderbolts with the asterisk on there and all the characters. They've changed that now to where it says New Avengers, the New Avengers, with the asterisk at the beginning of the title versus at the end.
Yeah.
And that's like a joke that happens kind of at the end of the movie, is that they become the New Avengers. It's a lot of people are upset because they're like, the movie just came out and you're already spoiling things. Here's where I'm kind of like, there's a gradient of spoilers when it comes to things, right? Like saying that they're the New Avengers, it might make you think like, oh, what? I'm missing something incredibly important from this movie. Something clearly happens in this movie where it's like, oh shit, they're the New Avengers. This is a massive spoiler. I gotta tell you, it's not a massive spoiler at all, right? It is. They are the poor man's Avengers. It's the New Avengers is kind of a joke.
Yeah, and I mean, the New Avengers is a line of comics, right? Like there are groups in the comics that are the new Avengers. It's a different team. They step in when the Avengers are unable to, or they've disbanded or something happened, right? They're and even in the promotional material for this movie, prior to the big reveal that this is a new Avengers movie, like the new Avengers, there were quotes and like reviews saying the most fun since the Avengers or since Endgame and stuff like that, really kind of playing into that Avengers type of movie. I I I don't like spoilers. We've talked about this, but I was a Marvel movies opening weekend every weekend kind of guy for a long time.
Right.
The hit or miss success over the last few years with some of the Marvel movies has caused me to not have to be an opening weekend guy. I was very busy this last weekend with other plans, so that prevented me from going opening weekend. But the title change doesn't really like spoil the plot or anything that really happens in the movie for me. So it's more of just it's fun for whoever the diehards that were like, we're going to see this opening weekend because we still live and breathe everything Marvel. And they're in on the joke for this week before it's revealed to everyone, right? I feel like they've done this before with... Oh, was it... It wasn't Endgame, was it? What... There was like... There were a couple movies where they were like really like, don't spoil it, let people find out, whether it was the snap in Endgame, or not Endgame, but Infinity War. But I feel like there was something else where maybe it was it Spider-Man No Way Home, where
don't tell people about the 3 Spider-Men that are in this movie.
And like for the first, like all of the lead up, it was like, don't tell anybody that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are in this movie. And then after like a week, they're like, okay, let's put out the promotional material that shows the 3 Spideys in it, and okay, like, the people that are really going to be passionate about not getting spoiled have seen this movie. Now we can bring in everybody else that's like, oh, there's 3 Spider-Mans in it? Let me go check it out. Let me go see what this is all about. So, yeah, I feel like this isn't the first time we've had that, but it is cool that they did it.
I think I do remember that. I think what's different for this is it wasn't like it was, whereas like the Spider-Man stuff was kind of like, hey guys, don't tell anybody, let's just keep it hush hush. Look, I know you've heard that Alfred Molina's in this. We know that that Electro's in it, right? Like we know that, but we're not saying Jerry Maguire, Toby is in it. We're not saying that Andrew Garfield's in it.
Show me the money.
We're not saying that, but obviously right? And you kind of assumed. This one is like, it didn't. This one is, they promoted the movie as Thunderbolts with an asterisk the entire time.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, why is there an asterisk? And throughout the movie, you're like, oh, it's an asterisk because of, this is why they call themselves the Thunderbolts. Which that I'm not going to get into that, because I think that is an important point.
Okay.
But then they come out and they're like, here's why there's an asterisk on the title, because that asterisk implies that it's actually named something different. And then the movie comes out and they're changing all of the branding, all of the advertisements. So the guy who plays Bucky, Sebastian Shaw.
Sebastian Stan. Yeah.
Yeah. Now Shaw is an X-Men villain. But there's a video of him going up to a bus stop. He's got like posters.
Yeah.
He goes up to a bus stop where Winter Soldier's there, and it says Thunderbolts with the asterisk. And he takes one of these posters down, lines it up, tapes it up, rolls it down, and it's the same picture, but at the bottom of it, it says the New Avengers, and then he walks away with it. Right?
Yeah, it's great.
Like
It's great branding, and it's great like week in branding to reinforce, like you get in all of your diehards, and then it's like, hey, everybody that missed it, here's another reason why you should come see this movie. Like it's really solid.
And I think I'm interested in it because it's kind of a risk in advertising, right?
Yeah.
They don't know if it's going to work, right? It just started today. They don't know if in the long term it's going to be successful for them or not. They'll be like, whoa, this is a new Avengers movie. It wasn't marketed as that at all. Some people are like, this is the lowest grossing Avengers movie of all time. Like, well, yeah, because it wasn't advertised as an Avengers movie. It was advertised as Thunderbolts.
One of my coworkers was sitting in my office when you sent me when we were chatting back and forth, and you were messing with the asterisks, and then you're like, yeah, I went and saw the New Avengers this weekend. I was like, you mean the Thunderbolts? And you're like, no, New Avengers. And then you like,
and do you think I was just fucking with you?
100%, 100%, because I hadn't been on X or anything all day, so and then you sent me that like screenshot of the promotional material being changed. Then you sent me
Marvel,
that Sebastian Stan video, and I was like,
it said Thunderbolts, and then it has like the strike through, and it says New Avengers.
Yeah, no, I thought it. I mean, it's great. I really do like it. But I was like, yeah, it's called the New Avengers now, and he's like, what? I don't like that at all. Ugh. And I was like, no, it's like from the comics, the New Avengers. And he's like, huh? Like, this is like a new Avengers movie? Like, but they're the Avengers now? Like, I don't get that. I'm like, no, like, they're the new Avengers. Like, they're, like, those Avengers are still the Avengers, but these are the new Avengers. And they're like the B squad. They're like the bench team in the basketball game that's just slightly off screen right now. Like, they're like the backups. They're
not the actual Avengers. The group is called the New Avengers.
Yes, and when I was able to articulate that to him, he's like, "Oh, okay, I get it. Like that's pretty cool." Like,
yeah. Because there's also the West Coast Avengers, in the comics as well, right?
Yeah. And the Young Avengers, right? Is that Young Avengers? Yeah. There's a lot of Avengers. There's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's interesting. I think it'll be cool to see this group team up potentially with lots of other characters in sort of like a doomsday type movie, that because we've already seen the Instagram post with all of the like directors' chairs with all of the actors' names on it that are gonna participate in it. Some old Avengers, some new Avengers. So I think that's really cool. It made me more excited to see the movie this weekend, and I think that's saying something. I think that makes it, worth the risk. I want to know when this is released on Disney Plus, on Blu-ray. What do you put on the box? What do you put on the the widget that you're gonna? Why can I not think of that word? The thumbnail. The thumbnail.
If so, as far as like DVD, Blu-ray box, here's how I would do it. I would have Thunderbolts on the actual sleeve, and then you take it off, and then it's New Avengers. That's how.
Hire this man. Hire him. Get him right now.
That's how I would do it.
Respect. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, or just all of the outside packaging is Thunderbolts, and then you open it up, and the disc says the New Avengers and stuff.
Yeah.
You could do that. You could do that with Disney Plus. The thumbnail says Thunderbolts. You click on it. Splash screen. Tears across it. New Avengers. Yeah.
And I'll tell you why it's not a spoiler. Well, it's a spoiler because it happens in the movie, right? But you don't know at what point in time in this movie the New Avengers things happens. It could be 5 minutes in. It could be at the very, very end. It could be in the middle. You
Yeah.
don't know when that happens and what the context is. And I think that context, that not knowing what that context is, that's what's going to make you kind of be like, all right, how is this?
How
How
is
is
this
this
gonna
going
work?
to do it?
What is
Yeah.
this? Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll
Okay.
say, okay, go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say we've talked about guerrilla marketing now for probably 10 minutes, but what were your actual thoughts on the movie? Like without getting too
Oh,
much
yeah.
into spoilers yet.
Yeah. So the first probably half of the movie, I was like, I kind of thought the whole movie was going to take place in this one area. I was like,
Mhm.
oh, this is what the movie's going to be about. But I saw some of the trailers. I know it goes on beyond that eventually. But we spent a long time in kind of one locale, and it wasn't bad. Like it was
Yeah.
fun. And then the second half, I would say, is a better movie. I enjoy
Okay.
the second half much better. Uh, the guy who plays Sentry, uh, Robert Pullman, I think. He is Bill Pullman's son, which there's a fair amount of nepotism in this movie because you also have, uh, um, damn it, what's his Kurt Russell's son is in it, right, as U.S. agent.
Okay. Okay.
Wyatt Russell, so he's in it, and then you have Bill Pullman's son who is in it. It's like, hey, wait a minute, nepotism. um, but he,
The nepotism Avengers.
yeah,
The Nepo Avengers.
yeah,
Yeah.
but Sentry, his name is Bob in the movie also. Like when you
More spoilers. More spoilers. Jeez.
he's introduced, and he's the best part of the movie. He's so good, and uh it turns into a big metaphor about like emotion and like loneliness and depression and stuff like that, and like being together. It's a good movie. I, you you might see memes out there and jokes about like it being like the Care Bear, like a bunch of different Care Bears, or like I saw one where it's like um they're it's like Inside Out, and they're like in the control room, right?
Yeah.
And you know it's fun to joke about, but it's an actual movie about, and it comes out in May, Mental Health Awareness
Yeah.
month. Like it works. It works.
That's
So
good.
I enjoyed it.
That's good. I'm excited to see it. Hopefully, can sneak in a viewing on Mother's Day weekend. A preemptive shout out to all the moms out there. Happy Mother's
Yeah.
Day,
Happy
Mom. If you're
Mother's Day.
listening, Happy Mother's Day.
I know you're not listening, but
Yeah,
happy
that's
Mother's Day.
fair. But I want to steal a little bit of what time we have left to justify the fact that I didn't go see Thunderbolts, aka New Avengers, this weekend, and that's of course because I was playing Lorcana.
It's a Lorcana minute.
Yeah. Set Champs is here again. Set Champs is the last month when a set of Lorcana cards is out on the market, where local game stores are invited to host competitive tournaments where they're given additional prizing. This set, every person that participates gets a special promotional card. If you get in the top 8 of the tournament, you get a cool foil enchanted card. And then if you win the tournament, you get a playmat. This differs from previous tournaments. The top 2 used to get playmats. Now just the number 1 player gets a playmat. We drove like an hour on Saturday to go to a tournament that was on the other side of the city, well away from us. And there were about 19 people participating in that one. Many of whom I knew. There were 5 of us from my little group that plays together. And 4 of the 5 of us got into the top 8 to get that playmat. My son Caleb actually got second place overall in the tournament. He's a force to be reckoned with, man. Like it's just so cool watching him play, watching him play against people like twice his age and just holding his own, confidently going into some of those matchups. like friends of mine are like frustrated when they get paired up with him because they're like, no, I gotta play Caleb. Dang it! Like, so unfortunately, he did get second, losing in the final round. It did go to game 3, so both
That's
players
good, yeah.
won a game, and then he just didn't have it in that third game. So he didn't get a runner-up play mat for the first set, but yeah, and then we drove home, went to sleep, woke up, and did it all again at another tournament where I had an abysmal day, did not even get close to top 8. Yet my son got 8th place and got to top 8, and then ended up, I think, 7th overall in the tournament. So he's got 2 of these here. I have it right here. For the video viewers, this is the new foil enchanted Hiro Hamada promotional
it looks like a
card.
Vegeta. Is that Vegeta?
It's
from Dragon Ball
yes,
Z?
yeah, that's who it is. You
The
nailed it,
famous
Brandon.
Disney character.
Look, it's sparkly. It's sparkly. There's my ring light. You can see my ring light. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I did all weekend. Big Lorcana news comes out tomorrow, including set rotation, which everybody's kind of mixed feelings about.
What is set rotation?
These are the things I learn about after getting into the hobby that have existed for years, but I had no idea that this was an actual thing. So like as more and more sets of cards come out, we're on the this is the 7th set of Lorcana. The 8th set comes out at the beginning of June. As more and more cards are released, that gives people more options of things that they can put into their decks. And ultimately, over time, there's a power creep, right? Because better and better cards come out, and you can pick and choose the best of, 8 sets worth of cards, and then people can just build these really strong decks, and you just have to keep releasing better and better cards to kind of level out the game. Otherwise, it just gets unbearable, right? So what a lot of card games do, apparently, I'm learning, and what it seems like Lorcana is going to do because of the leaked footage that some influencer didn't. It wasn't me. I'm not a Lorcana influencer yet.
Is it the same guy who did the Shador Sanders?
I
call?
don't think so. Could have been. But there is like a slide that shows the first like 9 sets of the game, and with the first 4 sets being like grayed out, which basically is
Like
leading everyone.
You can't play those cards anymore.
So in official competitive play, so if you were to go to play in a game store or in a tournament, all the cards in those first 4 sets would be off limits for building your deck and competing with. Some caveats to that is it looks like there's going to be reprints of cards. So cards that are really difficult for people to get because they came out in set 1 and maybe they didn't start playing till sets 4 or 5 or 6, right? Like they're hard. Those, unless you want to spend money to buy them, online from people or stuff like that, those cards can be hard to get. So it looks like they'll be reprinting cards, which means if a card is reprinted in a later set, you can play with your original versions from a previous set if it's the same card.
Yeah, it's like if you get if you have the original Pikachu, they did a set rotation, and then 7 sets later, like, oh, they reprinted Pikachu. You're like, okay, I can play with it again.
I can play with my OG Pikachu, right?
How do you feel about that? Right, you said some people are unhappy about it. How do you feel about set rotations?
My initial reaction was frustrated because I've invested money into this. I'm not just a fan of the gameplay, but I do like the cards themselves, and I collect the cards as well as just play, right? So I like to have at least a master set, if not a play set master set 1 copy, play set 4 copies of cards, and I try to collect as close to a play set as I can of each set. I did that not realizing that there would come a point in time where those cards would not be viable for play anymore, right? So I'm going to have as close to a play set of the first 4 sets that are either going to sit on a shelf. I may be able to play some of them if they get reprinted, or they're introducing a new format, which is called like Infinite Constructed or something, which allows you to play with every card that's ever made. It's just going to be its own thing, separate from core constructed play. So my first thoughts were, this sucks. Like, all these cards I have are going to not be able to be used. But the more I thought about it and the more I read, Reddit pages and other people's perspectives, I realized, like, for people that have played cards for a long time, set rotation is necessary. Like, it's needed to keep the game healthy and keep it from getting out of control and just not fun anymore because decks become too powerful. So it's a way of balancing the game. And the, capitalist in me, I guess, understands that for this game to continue to grow and for it to continue to be supported, the company has to make money. And that means people have to keep buying cards. And if you're not incentivized to buy the newer sets because I'll just play with these old sets that are still stronger than the new stuff coming out, then that's not a great business model for the company either. So
Yeah. I think for me, I think where I have an issue is I feel like the speed, the acceleration rate of releasing new decks it's gotten faster. Like,
Yes.
every time I stop a Best Buy or a Target, I'm like, oh, what? Wait, oh, there's a new set of decks coming out already. Like, they are accelerating the amount of whatever categories or themes,
just
right?
the sets are coming out very frequently, and I would agree with you. And I think that's the one thing, even people that are fans of set rotation, they feel like it's happened too fast. We're not 2 full years. You're coming up on the 2nd anniversary of the game coming out, and 2 years they feel like is too fast to start to be in rotation for that.
Because last year I bought a big box, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
all right. But since then, I think there's been like 3 new themed decks that have come out.
Yeah, cool, because they released 2 single player decks with each new set, and you bought, what set
What
was
the
it?
shimmer was it shimmering?
Shimmering Skies, yeah. And since then there's been Azurite Sea and Arcasia's Islands. So it's only been 2 new sets.
All right.
3rd set coming out at the end of the month, Reign of Jafar. So Reign of Jafar will be out when we see each other over the summer, in California.
And so, like, as far as business models go, well, like, give people time to save up money so they can buy like the new cards and go through those motions.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know, even like with Pokemon, we'll go with Pokemon. Like, if I go to a collector store and I see a bunch of Pokemon cards, I'm like, well, I don't know when these came out because you guys are just repeating cards now. Or you're like, how am I supposed to know? You have saturated the market with so many cards. Same thing with Magic, right? Like, just so many. And if you want to keep things competitive, maybe don't introduce things so often. Build up your leagues, build up your competitive infrastructure, and then do it like seasons, right? Like a season of a year of this, then you're going to go move on.
I agree with you to an extent. I think a year is too long, honestly.
Well, you got that continuous discovery product management stuff in you. You know, a
You,
year's
you
too
know,
long.
you know how it is. You know how it is. Over the holidays, that Azurite C set came out in about November, and then we had Christmas and New Year's and stuff like that, and so that set was out for about 4 months, and then Arcasia's Islands came out in March, and that was like March, April, May. May this month, we're already in set champs, and the new set is coming out next month. So it was only 3 months for this one. That 4 months felt good. That felt like enough time to get some cards, learn some new mechanics, build some new decks, try them out for a while, play in some local tournaments or weekend local play, stuff like that. And then have your event at the end of the season, right at the end of the set, and about that time it was starting to feel like not stale, but like, okay, like I understand what's available. Certain decks have become popular, and I want to see something new. 3 months has felt very fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a sweet spot there where
Have you ever started playing a video game, and then you're playing it, you haven't finished it, you're like, okay, I'll take a break from this for maybe a month, maybe a month or two. I've got stuff going on, family, job stuff, right? And then you come back to it, a bunch of patches have been applied to it, some mechanic changes, and you come back to it and you're like, what? I don't know how to play.
I don't remember this game at all.
I don't know how to play this game anymore. Wait, they changed A from jump to X? Like, no, the A button does this. Like, that might be a little bit extreme, but
yeah,
you come back into it and you're like, well, it's already moved. It's changed something that I was familiar with. Something that quick, like 3 months, 4 months, like. It can turn people off because you're like, well, no, you're moving faster than I'm good with you moving. Like, I'm not going to collect anymore because now you're just trying to make money off of me.
Yeah, and I've seen lots of people post that in different platforms where they say that the amount of sets coming out and the frequency of the sets, it's too much for them. It's too much for their bank account, right? Like there's definitely people that like only buy the cards that they need for the deck that they want to play, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not collectors, they're just competitive card players, and they study the cards, they come up with an idea, and then they buy the cards that they want in paper format so they can take it to a store and play with, right? Incomes are different, right, for different people.
Yeah.
There was a guy playing on Sunday against Caleb who every card in his deck was either the enchanted version of a card, which is the highly rare, highly collectible, most expensive version of the card. It was either a foil, a special, like D23 special edition copy. There were some Chinese and Japanese copies of stuff, but like if there was a fancy version of the card that he could play, it was in his deck, right? This guy loves playing Lorcana, probably has disposable income. If this is what he chooses to do with his money, I can't judge him for that, right? People have all kinds of hobbies that they pour money into.
Yeah.
The fact that there was one of my mortgage payments in his deck box, like that's between him and his financial consultant advisor. Yeah, like but it looked beautiful. It did.
Right, but that money doesn't go back to the trading card company, right? It goes to eBay. It goes to the trading card places.
Yeah.
So as far as like the money is concerned in the business model, they're not the ones who are making that money back from it.
That's
It's
true.
it's people who are buying like 10 boxes, and they're like, well, we can sell like 3 of these cards because we only got 3 of the enchanted cards
Yeah.
out of
Yeah.
30
Yeah.
boxes, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I no shame for the people who have the money that spend their money on this. Like like you guys enjoy it, and it's a father son bonding thing. Like you guys enjoy the card. You love Disney.
Yeah.
That's great. I I just for me, I'm like, man, these fucking assholes are just like they're they see a spot and they're like, we're gonna keep releasing cards.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then people who suck are gonna keep doing art for them, and then it's a whole thing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that guy sucks or not. We'll see. It could have just been a joke. We make all kinds of jokes
We
that
do.
are in the same vein. So,
We do.
yeah, I want to say 2 last things about Lorcana. I know this turned into way longer talking about
No,
Lorcana.
no.
This is
This is the first time I was interested in talking about Larcana for
good.
decades.
I love this. Yeah, all of this again. I don't know what's actually going to
I can
happen.
bitch about it.
Yeah. I could stop, right? I could stop whenever I want. No, I'm not addicted. I could stop whenever I want. I could take all the cards that I have. I could probably make a variety of decks with them. Like I could never buy another Lorcana card, and we could still play with them for a while. But I think at some point that might get stale or old or be like, it's. I think they're releasing the new cards. There is an excitement to it. I'm not gonna lie. There's a bit of a rush and adrenaline kick when you crack that pack and see if you got any good pulls, right?
Yeah.
The collecting aspect is fun. But yeah, it's definitely something that is not. I don't know if I fully understood how expensive the hobby could be when I initially got into it. And so I've had to kind of reset my expectations on, and again, like I'm buying cards for 2, right? I buy cards for me and my son. And there are times when I'm like, hey, he's got 2 of this card and I've got 2 of it. And hey, I'm gonna use your 2, and I'm gonna let you use these cards of mine, and we'll make the best decks we can between the 2 of us. Because I don't want to drop, $75 on the 2 cards we need to flesh out this deck or something like that. So anyway, that's that. The last thing is, and you can't see it on YouTube, but I'll move it just so you can. There's this little camera up here in the top of my screen. That is a second webcam that now points directly down at my brand new desk that I've had for a little over a week now. And I'm all set up for webcam gaming. And so now I can use Pixelborn Connect, which is an app that's designed for playing Lorcana over webcam. It works really well. It's kind of awkward at first to just randomly jump in like a Zoom call with somebody that you don't know, and it's just their desk surface. And you're like, all right, well, you want to cut, I guess, right? And you just jump into games. But for me, it's been a great way to test decks against other people and things like that. And, people, especially in my line of work, people move all the time. People, stick around for a while and then they don't. So it's a way for me to play against other people. Because you can create custom games too and play with friends and stuff like that. So
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
yeah, it's been fun. So I'm just saying, if you have a deck, I know you got a webcam.
Yeah, I only have 1 though. Definitely not 2.
That's fine. That's fine.
Definitely not 2. Because why would I need 2 cameras for me and Chelsea to talk about movies?
Certainly not.
Our real relationship.
If you haven't checked it out already, check out Our Real Relationships, the newest podcast on the Apathetic Enthusiasm Podcast Network.
This week we're covering 3 Amigos.
Oh, back to cultural appropriation.
That's right. I put the poll out there and it was like, because Chelsea and I were going back and forth. We're like, oh, what movie should we do? And it was like, well, May is Mental Health Awareness in the month, so like Falling Down was a good one with Michael Douglas, and then like, but Mother's Day is next weekend. Like, what movies would? Well, Aliens, right? Aliens is a big mother movie, and then it was like, well,
Sophie's Choice.
So nah, we'll save that for next year. And then Three Amigos, like, well, it's Cinco de Mayo. Like, we didn't want to do Coco because everyone does Coco, right? For Cinco de Mayo. And so then I put the poll out there on Instagram, and then people were like, Three Amigos was like number one by like a vote, and then it was Aliens, and then Falling Down. Like, let's just do it in that order. So next episode we'll watch Three Amigos, Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, and Martin Short. And
You're mapped out. You're mapped out for like the month.
Mapped out. You know what, one of my favorite things about doing this is, like, Chelsea had the idea of let's donate to charity for each one of these episodes, like each one of these movies. And I was like, that's so good. That's such a smart idea because it's a tax write-off for the business. No, I didn't say that. I said that like 2 weeks ago.
That was the inside voice.
Yeah. But no, it's fun being able to be like, yeah, like I want to donate money to these random charities that are not like the big ones, right? Like, yeah, give it to sharktrust.org or Appalachian Voices. I think that's fun. So it's been really cool doing that with her. Real last thing, unrelated to movies. There's a game I've been playing called Claire Obscura Expedition 33. It's on Game Pass. It's on Steam. It's on a few different places. It's a kind of a Japanese RPG a la Final Fantasy, but it was developed by some like 30 people who were in Ubisoft. It is such a beautiful game. It is a fun game. It's a good game, and so I've been playing that pretty consistently over the last two weeks. Highly recommend. It's got great reviews, and probably tonight I'm going to stay up till 3 a.m. again, playing it because I'm almost done. I'm almost done with it. I've almost beaten it. But it's really good. I recommend it.
It's like a story-driven action RPG type. Is it turn-based? What are we talking here?
It's turn-based. Yeah. So it's like a JRPG kind of feel. It's turn-based, but there are timing aspects to the turn-based combat. So kind of like a Super Mario RPG, where like you time your attacks to get extra damage. You can parry or dodge the enemy that's attacking you. It kind of has like a Dark Souls / Elden Ring art aesthetic to it.
Yeah, I was just looking at the art for it, and it looks really nice. Like the graphics are kind of insane. Yeah,
gorgeous. It's gorgeous, and it has one of the best prologues I've ever played in a video game. Like, by the end of the prologue, before you get into any action, any turn-based combat, it leaves you giving a shit about the characters that you're playing as.
That's good.
It was
gets
like,
you hooked.
I care about these characters right away, like 30 minutes into the game. So that's good.
Awesome. Well, as of this moment in the recording, there's 1 minute and 15 seconds left in Game 1 of Oklahoma City versus Denver. Denver currently trails 46-60 OKC with a lead. It was very close in the first quarter, but OKC has outscored Denver significantly here in the second. What will happen in the second half? I don't know. Teams are headed to the locker rooms. We'll find out next week on Apathetic Enthusiasm. Send us emails, send us texts. If there's anything we talked about that you have opinions on, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things on the YouTube, or just let us know. Thank you so much for listening. We probably won't be back for like 3 or 4 months. We're going to be talking about Rick and Morty nonstop. But we're so glad you're here. Until then,
to get rid of us. You're just trying to get rid of us so you can, like, they're going to have to.
That's it. All right, bye. Second half. No. No, we
All
got
right.
time. We got time.
On behalf of the playoff podcast, I am Brandon.
I look forward to the Western Conference Finals, guys. All right, I'm Travis.